Today we're in Firth in Scotland, in the village of Pittenweem, and going into the Church of St John's. This is actually built. This is a Scottish Episcopal church, and it's on the site of the 14th century Augustine Priory, which was pretty much the grade one listed. Yet else remains, but there is a number of little remnants and interesting St Finian's Cave, which is what Pittenweem means, the place of the cave, reference to St Finian's, an 8th century hermit, whose cave remains in the core of St John's. So, let's have a look at this absolutely gorgeous church. St John's was built as a chapel in 1805, but has been largely beautified on several occasions since then, and is still a working church today. The chapel was built by the Reverend David Lowe, the then incumbent of Pittenweem and Croll, and he led the revival of the Scottish Episcopal Church, and this is one of the oldest churches here in Scotland. Building being not extended over the years, was basically the same 19th century small stone building which seats about 80 people in traditional wooden pews. The sanctuary is decorated with fine oak carving from the 1920s by the famous architect Robert Larmer. There are several 19th and 20th century stained glass windows and some two modern ones at the entrance here, which we'll see shortly. And it's a typical T-shaped design of Scottish churches. Interesting seating and memorials everywhere to various past vicars who served in the church. A lot of beautiful wood there, wood pulpit. And the stained glass we see is pretty much by Ballantine from 1879 and 1914. Quite interesting looking down from the pulpit. And interestingly enough, the organ, the chamber organ, was probably by Renton, restored in 1985. And there's some additions in 2001 to modern facilities. Pittenweem Priory Complex was set up in the 12th century by David I, invited by Abbot Rebben to set up the priory on the Isle of May. But it wasn't until the middle of the 15th century that Pittenweem became a fully fledged priory, until of course the Reformation, and then that was that. And it has deteriorated, and churches have been rebuilt where a lot of the priory properties were. The gatehouse still remains, and some of the walls, and it's to look at. And of course the St Finian's Cave, which people come to look at. And there we can see the century stained glass. This bicentennial stained glass was designed by Ursula Ditchburn and added in 2005. And there we go outside. If we walk down this road and around the walls of the old priory, then we come down this hill towards St Finian's Cave, which is pretty much what a lot of people come to Pittenweem for. And there we have it, there's the entrance way. However, the key is held, as we found, by a shop up at the top where you have to leave a £10 deposit before you can gain access. But it is enough, we'll see shortly what it's like inside. It's actually quite stunning inside, as you'll see shortly. I've made this into a two-part episode because it's so long. So I hope you liked. So like, subscribe, continue to watch. And please watch the next episode for the cave itself. Bye for now.